watching Sinan Ahmed. I'm here with another tutorial. This time we're gonna make a instruction menu system so that when you start off, the player has some sort of instructions that he can follow. I know there's more of these online. Like you can watch this one, Bracky's How to Make a Dialogue System in Unity. This is what I followed, but mine's a little bit different, so I want to share with you guys how to do that. So let's go into scene one and check out what happens. So basically, this is what happens when you start off, and you press next, and it goes to the armory, and it makes you select. You can select that. It's only forwarded, so you select that. Go through all your items. Go back. Inventory. Go back. Whatever items you buy from the armory, you go in the inventory and you select them. And then skills, you have to assign these skills. I'm not doing that right now, but you can do that when you play. So on and so forth. These ones are not pressable, these next buttons. And I'll show you how I did this with only one piece of code, one file of code. So delete character, next, retrieve items, next, save, next, ballerina. These ones are not pressable. Only the first two are pressable. And I made it like that so that because people don't want to read. And if you make them life easier for them, then they love it. So anyways, now you press through all of them and you can start the game or go anywhere you wish to. So for example, I'll go to multiplayer and it should load up. So there you go. Enter the lobby and go back. So now I'm going to show you how I did that. It's very simple. You have to have one. Let me go to the scene and then start off and show you what it's all about. So basically, the one thing you have to make is a canvas with an image inside of it, and the image has to be. You have to Alt select this button. You have to go to this button and select, open it, and then press Alt, and then select this one right here. Don't select the other ones because then you will go here or there, depending on where you want to show the instructions. I'm showing it here, so that's where you should show it too if you want. Then the image has two things in it: a text, which is obviously the instructions for the instructions, and a button which is for pressing next, so the next instructions can be loaded. Now I put all the information in the text button here. It's called the intro sentences, and I know the sentences are spelled wrong, but I don't really care anymore. Nobody's gonna read my code. I'm working in D, so yeah, I know what it was wrong, but maybe I'll fix it in the future. So anyways, we go to this is a new script, C# script that I made. It's called intro sentences, sentence in my case, and it has a list of buttons, 10 buttons, which are what you wanna show. So this is the first button is button 1, battle button. First one is battle button. Second one is inventory, armory, save, delete, multiplayer, skills, retrieve items, info, and exit. So these buttons are all referenced over here. You have to click each button and drag it in their spot. And the back image is basically the image that I have for this brown image that I have for the instructions. You can have whatever image you want. I have a brown image. And the next button is referred here, which is this button right here. And then you're checking if the next button is interactable or not over here. I think we should make it a private, but it's okay right now. And finally, the info image is over there as well. I think that's recurring. I don't think I need that, but it's okay if it's there for now. So anyways, let's go into the code now for the intro sentences. There's a list of buttons that I already showed you. There's an image that I already showed you, the brown image. The button, the next button that you press to get the next instructions. And then there's a queue of messages, string messages that you're going to load, and it has to be static, because if you don't let it be static, then it will forget, and every time you come back, it'll start again with the same instructions, so you don't want to have that. Then the second thing is already set. If it's already set, then you don't set it again, which is here. I'll show you this later, but for now, know that this is what causes the instructions to not load again when you awake this when you start out. The second time you come back to the main menu. And the third thing is dialogue. So this is the dialogue that I have here. I only have 12 right now. You can have as much as you want, as long as you refer them like this, and you add another one at the end or whatever. And then the boolean next button interactable, which makes it so that the button doesn't interact, and it forces the user to press on the button above. So instead of, in my case, it was the armory and then inventory and then the skills button. They had to press that because if they don't press it, then what's the point of the instructions? I'm forcing them to press it so that they learn about the game, and so yeah, that's why I put it there. And then finally the image, which is also the same as the back image, but for now we're calling it the info image. Now in the awake function, we check if it's already set. In our case, it already set is false, so if this is true, and because it's not already set, we set the dialogue. We start the dialogue. We set all the dialogues. Dialogue 0 is hello warrior, and so on and so forth. Dialogue 1 is you currently have 400 coins, and then so yeah, that's the dialogues. And the messages are also a static queue. So you start out the queue here, and then you add on. A queue is basically like you can learn more about this from Bracky's tutorial on how to make a dialogue system. But a queue is something that it's like a list, but only you can add on top of it and remove it, and it always tells you the one on top. So for now, I've queued some of these messages. You can learn more about this on the Unity scripting AI API. So yeah, messages have been queued. So 0 so this is basically adds the 0 dialogue here into the messages. And then this has the second one, this has the third one, the fourth one, the fifth one, and so on and so forth. And then when you check already set is equal to true, so that this function doesn't run again. So you don't keep on adding and adding and adding. You just add it once. And then the second function is called info loaded, and this basically just when it's loaded, it makes it so that the back image that I had, the brown image, it becomes true. So in our case, if info script is another boolean that I'm making, and yeah, it's in the game manager. It's called info bool, but you don't really have to worry about that right now. Anyway, so this, if it's not true, then it loads the info, and if it is true, then it doesn't do anything. So it doesn't show the instruction. So yeah, this is here. This is all right there. And okay, so if the instructions haven't been loaded, then you set the image as false, so that you don't see any of the instructions again. So yeah, I go through all the buttons that I have in a loop, and I interact them, and I set them equals to false, so you can't press them. For the sake of the tutorial, you can't press any button other than the one I specifically make interactable. And the next thing you do is add an next message button, so it loads the first one, which is hello warrior, welcome to Outlast. So yeah, let's go into the next message code now and see what's going on. Forget this. Okay, so if messages.peak equals dialog 1, then you go to the buttons and you make the appropriate button black, and all the buttons black and appropriate button red, and you make it interactable to true. This only works for the first 3 ones, because those are the only 3 I'm gonna make interactable. And the next button becomes uninteractable, because you don't want him to press it when they are going through the first 3 ones, because you want them to go to the armory and press the armory instead of just keep pressing next, because that was the point of the instructions now. So anyway, the next button interactable is the next button that I showed you over here. This one. You also make this false, so that this I'll show you later. But I'll show you right now. All right. So next button interactable is here. Where did it go? All right. Next button interactable. Next button interactable. So in this our case, if next button interactable is true, next button not interactable is also true. So that just sets the buttons to be interactable, and then return. So anyways, so this is a very simple function that goes on every time you peek. Peek just shows you that the message is on top on the first line in the queue, the first item in the queue, not queue, sorry, queue. Yeah, and then the second one you check if it's not null, and then you check to peek it, and you go through the buttons and you check if it make sure they're all black and unpressable, which we already made sure here. We already made sure that for that, and then so you just keep going down here and you copy and paste all this. I'll put the link in the GitHub page for you guys to download. But this is the one function that I'm gonna show you guys before we do anything. Also, if you come at the end, you destroy the back image, you destroy the next button, you destroy the game object, and you make sure that the buttons are not red anymore. And then you go here and you just check it. Okay. Alright, so anyways, you destroy that and you make sure the buttons are all black now. And then, so here, we're just making sure, you know how the text goes one by one instead of going the whole sentences? It's because of this. So you dequeue the first message in the sentence and you go to a start coroutine, which is here, and you take the sentence and you put it in there. And this basically copy this whole line of code, because this makes it so that the text comes in one by one, every letter for every frame. And yeah, and that's all there is to it. And I'll put the link in the description for you guys to download. And let me just show you one more time how it works, how it looks actually. So here we go. Here is so this is what we just did. This is the back image, this is the next button, this is the army button. So this is all you wanted to select for the first one. That's why I disabled the next button over there. See, it's disabled. How is disabled? It only enables after you it doesn't enable in this turn because you're going to the inventory, and I want to make sure that you go through the inventory. So when you come back from the inventory, then the button is you go to the next message, and then it's because it's static, it saves the messages, so you don't have to worry about that. And so here is basically what I want to show you guys. And this is how it looks in the game. So 3 of them are working fine, and then the rest of them are also working, but I make sure that they're not pressable, because sometimes you don't want to do that, you know. I only want to make sure that they press these 3, not this one. So next, collect special items by going into the retrieve panel next. Save your progress next. Battle arena next. So yeah, here's all the things I want to show you guys, and hopefully you liked it, and thanks for watching.